What's good, peeps? It's your boy Eduard Todor. So this weekend I competed for my first purple belt division at the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Nationals in New Zealand. This is how it went.
Okay, so my first match was a guy called Damien, very skilled athlete. I think he's been doing jiu-jitsu for a very long time. He feels really good. So here I'm looking for the same side collar, and you can see I'm using that foot sweep to set up stuff. Here I kind of go for a seonage that doesn't really work. Um, and this is here. This is what the thing I've been working on a lot. So you see, if I back up a little bit, I have his same side grip with this side, so we kind of have neutral grips here. But his um his left leg is forward. Now I can't shoot down and try to grab this left leg because he has a strong grip here that he can posture with. Um, well, actually, I probably could have gone, but it wasn't forward enough. So what I did here is um, I kind of hook that leg just to get him to try to get him to move it backwards. So you see now he's feels out of position. He feels like he's off balance, and also at the same time I'm lifting up his elbow here. Um, so he puts his foot back, and then as he puts that left foot back, I shoot and I scoop up that single leg on that left side, and then I just finish it with a collar. So I drilled that a lot. That's something I was working on a lot in preparation for this. The new rule set means that takedowns are actually a lot more important. So here I was feeling super strong. Like you see how I'm like just standing with this guy in close guard. So here technically he has the dominant position here because in the guard. In this rule set, I can't just pick him up and slam him. I can't, strike him or anything. So his legs are actually a dangerous tool, as you'll see soon, right? So I'm trying to stand up and just take this, unhook this guy's legs off me and just get him off me. But he does a really good job of just holding on for dear life. Like I don't know how he was able to maintain his legs around me this whole time. Basically, the whole match was me trying to get out of his closed guard, and he had a really strong closed guard. So definitely exposed the weakness of mine. Um, going into this tournament, I knew that closed guard. I had an issue with opening the closed guard, but I figured I just won't allow myself to get in that position. How wrong I would be. So here I saw him. He tried to go for the back. You saw how he was kind of trying to drag my hand, and at this point I'm like it's kind of struggling here. So I use what I've done in my previous matches where I kind of just try to choke the guy from inside the closed guard. It's not really a really dangerous move, but I'm just trying to get him to open the guard. But he's playing really good, and now we're trying to grip fight. I'm trying to set up grips and trying to stand up again, and I feel his legs come up, and I kind of sit back down. So right now, basically, I'm trying to posture up and use my arms and my hands to defend his hooks. I mean, to basically break these legs out open, and he is just trying to pull me down and set up a bunch of attacks with the grips that you see he's doing here. So this was a lot of the match basically. Um, he basically just found a weakness of mine, exposed it, and I wasn't able to really work my game and work with the things I'm good at. So here I try a different style of approach. If you notice, I'm trying to push his hips into the ground and put my knee behind his butt, which would create enough space for me to just break those legs right open. The problem is he was doing a really good job of lifting his hips up. I couldn't quite pin them down, so you'll notice his hips kind of just follow me as opposed to stay pinned. So I wasn't able to break that way either. And at this point, I'm getting a little frustrated, but I do feel very strong. Like I definitely felt very strong. Like you see how as soon as he grabs a grip, I'm just ripping it, and I can stand up with him. So I felt like I could kind of make him feel like that. I could kind of make him feel like he's not like he's weaker, you know. So I tried to at this point I stood up and I shook him off. But you notice he hooks his legs around my knees, and that made me lose balance. I couldn't step backwards, I couldn't step forward, so it made me really unstable. And you see, he almost gets the sweep here, but I managed to free that bottom leg and wrestle back out of that position. But he's really good at just consolidating that close guard where he knows he has an advantage. And again, I'm trying to choke him from the close guard. Just to try to open his legs up, but he kind of just lifts his hips a little bit, and I go again for the shake open, And I think here he does the same thing. And again, I'm kind of struggling to deal with this guard here where he just locks around my knees, and I don't know how to step back. And again, he breaks my posture, but I come back up with that single, and I almost get out of his close guard, but he catches me back in. So at this point, I'm getting pretty frustrated, and uh, and here there was some time where we were just grip fighting, but here is where it really started going bad for me. So this is the alternate camera angle because the ref was in the way. But you see how my elbow was slightly caught out of position here. I was trying to posture, I was trying to do a bunch of things, but my elbow is slightly out of position, and he notices it, and he capitalizes. So with this leg, he just, boom, catches the elbow on an offbeat right there. So my hand is still inside, right? My hand is still inside his guard at this point, but he's keeping me tight, and I was like, okay, I need to get back I need to get my arm back in, but he's got a really good way of just kind of locking. See how he moved up onto the shoulder? Now it's much more difficult to get the arm in. He's keeping me tight, and then once he starts cutting the angle, I really feel here. So now there's no way for me to get that arm back in. He's already cutting the angle. Boom, that's it. The arm's exposed. The arm's on the other side, and now he's attacking a triangle here. And I try my best to just stack him, to just put pressure on his neck, but he's sliding on the mat really well. You see how he doesn't allow me to just compress his neck, and he ends up getting the tap with a triangle choke. Very, very skilled guy. Definitely much better in that position. He managed to get me in a weak spot, and I couldn't work my game. Damn, my abs have never looked this crazy. And I don't know if they will for a long time. I'm moving up a weight class, so I'm just going to be bulking my ass off. All right, so the second match was interesting because I got sent upstairs. They're like, oh, yeah, you're done now. You lost the match. And then I got called back, so they did some screw-ups. So I was like, I ran in and just in time for my second match. And this was for the third place. There was 7 people in my bracket, so because of how I fell into the thing. He pulls guard here. Because of how I fell into the bracket, this was actually for third place, which was kind of lucky for me. And he does a really interesting like half guard. He for a second he uses that knee to just elevate, and now he comes up with that leg. That's crazy. I haven't. He's just, man. The guy was just so good. Immediately on my back. I mean, this guy was. You can see his hooks coming in, and his other hook is going in now. So now he's already has like 4 points for the back, I think. And now he's already going for an armbar. So from the very get-go, this guy was already like styling on me. He passed my guard and everything, will swept me, took my back, and now I'm just trying to get again. See, he from an armbar to triangle. Now I'm stuck in a triangle like that first match, except this time I'm able to stack him. You see how he's compressed? He wasn't able to lock me up in the same way the other guy did. So I'm able to stack him, and I find a time where he relaxes and I get my arm back in. So that was quite lucky. Here again, at this point I know I'm tired, so I try to do that thing again where I'm just pressing in his neck. And since I didn't have much luck with the first guy, I figured there's no way I'm gonna just stand up with him and break him like normal. So I basically committed too hard to that movement, and he spins under for an armbar, but I was ready for the armbar. That's what I always go for. So I managed to pull my arm out just in time. Now here I'm trying to maintain some kind of back control. I'm trying to get the hooks in. I'm trying to spin for the back. But as I spin for the back, you see how this hook right here, like I'm trying to get to like a knee on belly position here. You'll notice my leg is trying to clear this knee here. But this hook is doing a really good job in combination with his grip to keeping that leg from clearing the knee. So you'll see I try to clear the knee with this leg. Boom, there. I'm trying to get it past, but he just locks it up really well. And now he spins with me when I try to go for this back, so he ends up on top. Very, very good timing. His placement of hooks and grips is really good. And now he's got me in probably my worst position in general. If you get, half guard has always historically been my worst position. It's something I need to really work on. And so he immediately passes that half guard. I'm really not great at that position. So here he's maintaining, and I managed to get my frames. And as soon as he switched his hips, I knew I was going to escape here. I've just been doing a lot of work from the side control position where I have both frames, and I feel super confident that I can escape pretty much anyone that puts me here. So boom, I frame, I get my knees in, and boom, that's it. Um, and here I start to work a De La Hiva, but look at that. Every time I grab that grip that I used to sweep, he just breaks it. He was super strong. He was super diligent and keeping those breaks and keeping those grips and maintaining the grip fight. And I'm basically forced to use a grip that I'm not really comfortable with, right? So I really ideally wanted that top collar grip to break him down, but because he kept breaking it, I had to settle for this grip here, and I just couldn't get enough leverage the way I normally do to put him quite down on his butt, right? You see how he's kind of collapsing, but he's still able to maintain base. If I had that grip, I think I could have pulled him down a bit better. And here I think I'm already gassing out, to be honest. He passed pretty easily there. Um, yeah, it's tough because I had to work hard to escape all those positions, you know. And here I'm just trying to maintain, not to give anything away. And I'm just trying to play with those hooks. Maybe I can scoop under in the same way I'm doing here, and maybe turn the corner. But he was really good at maintaining. And now I play I try to play a single leg X. Right here I'm playing, and also I try to go for like a foot sweep. So you basically bridge into that knee, they fall over, and you have a foot locker there. But he was pretty good at basing, and he back steps right into north south. So again, just the guy was just much better at positionally. He was just miles ahead of me in terms of like everywhere I was, he was just 1 second quicker. You know what I mean? And back out here now, I'm like leg pummeling like crazy, trying to get rid of these hooks, trying to get some kind of bridge potential, and boom, I managed to reverse it. Now here I hear the corner shout for a minute left, right? And they're telling him to kind of just hold, make sure, play it safe or whatever. And so I knew I was down position. I think I was, I was down points. I think I was 11-0. And so at this point, I just decided I had to go for something crazy. So I had to style on him I had to show him who the true magician was. So here I wrap the head as if I'm gonna just pressure him, and I go for an Ezekiel here. And my pants are falling down. It's a bit of a chaos. He's trying to armbar me in the same time, and I just tapped him right there.
A lot of people missed like what actually happened because like even my coaches, they were like, "What did you catch him with?" Like blah blah blah. So in closed guard, which is where we were, this is a really bad position for me here because he can, if I'm putting my hands over here, he's just gonna armbar me here, right? Or grab grips and sweep me or whatever, right? So you generally speaking, you want to keep your elbows tucked, your hands in, everything tight, so you can't no extension, right? But since I was down on points, I knew I had no option. I basically faked it out. So I came in here, hugged the head, put a bit of pressure, kind of like I'm trying to stand up or something. While I'm doing this, I grab this grip here, in my own gi here. Now he's, again, you see, he's on hands here, hands here. I'm not sure where his hands were, but he was pushing my something, so there was space where his neck is. So I come in using this grip, and I put my I guess my knuckles in his throat, and I start to tighten the choke here. So what I'm doing, it's called an Ezekiel. It goes like this, and so you see the space between my knuckle and my other hand, this space here. That's where his neck goes. Put your hand there. So I'm tightening that, choking him. So I'm here, I do this, boom, and here he actually, as I started choking, the way to finish the choke is to extend. I'm extending here. If I keep it tight, it's actually kind of hard to finish. So he tried to armbar me. So he came in, put this leg over his foot, here. So he actually pushing me away and finishing the choke for me. So maybe if he held me tight, I would have had trouble because he thought he could armbar me, unconventional stuff. Boom, try to armbar, boom, finish it here. So yeah, Ezekiel from close guard. Some magic tricks, I tell you.
It was a super clutch play. The guy was definitely better than me. I had a little trick up my sleeve. I had to misdirect him a little bit. I had to do a little bit of magic on him to win this one. So definitely a lot of work to do. A lot of work to be done. But I mean, first competition at purple belt, these guys are some of the best dudes in the country at purple belt. Like these guys are solid, man. So just the fact that I'm able to compete on their level and just be in there with them is amazing.
But yeah, super, super tough guys. Very skilled. I felt really good in the division, like in terms of my power levels and in terms of how I felt strength wise compared to the other guys. Like I felt like I was probably one of the strongest guys in the division. But the technique was just on another level, and I just look forward to improving and getting back in there. Now, next tournament's probably going to be the next bracket up. I'm not going to cut weight again for this much weight, so I'm looking forward to bulking and just kind of having a nice off season. But yeah, now finally that's out of the way. I can focus back into the magic for you guys. I can focus on creating more content on this YouTube channel. I've been, mentally and physically really, really tied up in this, preparing for it for the last few months. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.